Hop Sing's going to feed us a chicken fried steak lunch here in a little bit. But first, let me tell you, it's the 1245 edition of Down on the Farm on one of these 14 affiliate stations. Let's take a look at ag weather for this region. We'll begin in that San Antonio, Austin National Weather Service region. 78 in Langtree, 75 in Hondo, 76 in New Braunfels, 76 in LaGrange, 77 in Llano, 77 in Pearsall. Tonight, looks like everybody is going to be in the low to mid 50s, maybe a chance of fog from San Antonio east, maybe some cloudy weather from San Antonio west. Neighbor, as we look down toward the coastal bend, we'll call Cotulla 80, Port Lavaca 72, Corpus Christi 75, and again we'll be middle to upper 50s for tonight's lows. Neighbor, there's a quick look at ag weather across this portion of Down on the Farm country. Neighbor, I do believe a glass of tea is in order. Why? Because y'all look thirsty, and it's time to do the commodity, so let's kill two birds with one stone. Here we go. March corn, 5.72 1/4 at 4 3/4. March Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 8 3/4 at 8.13 1/2. February live cattle up 107, 138.97. January feeder cattle up 62.50, 165.47. February lean hogs down 1/4, 79.25. March number 2 cotton down 54, 105.87. January West Texas intermediate crude up 225, 68.44. Neighbor, we got a lot of ground to cover, so let's cross the river, the Concho that is, and talk to Benny Cox from Producers in Cargyle, San Angelo about the sheep and goat sale he had yesterday and about the cattle sale they'll have tomorrow. Benny, let's talk about it all.
Well, we had another light run. We had 41.65, and that market was on fire. We saw these wool feeder lambs bring $10 to $20 higher. If you'll remember, the week before we shut down was the first week in about 3 or 4 that we had any numbers to talk about a market, and it was 20 to 30 higher. That thing's really recovered a lot. The slaughter lambs, these light Indies, air sheep type, they were 15, 25 higher. Slaughter ewes, 15 to 25 higher. These kids were another $25 to $30 higher. They're not as high as they were at the high last winter, but they're getting there. The slaughter nannies, they sold awful good, 170 all the way up to 264, but mostly 208 to 233. Slaughter billies sell from 220 to 295. Worlds of them in that 250 to 270 range. The wool feeder lambs that we saw some big old crop things that sell down as low as 278. Heck, they weighed way over 100. And some of those lightweights all the way up to 376. On these light in these hair sheep type slaughtered lambs, 320 to 426. Your heavier weight, some of those big old yearling type, kind of 270-ish, all the way up to 385, and that's over 85 pounders. The slaughter ewes, they sell from 110 to 185, mostly 153 to 160. Kid goats sold in a range from 310 all the way up to 438, but mostly 370 to 408, with some of those feeder lambs up to 458.
Good. Now, how is the cattle sale progressing?
You know, we were catching some cattle yesterday. I'm guessing we're going to be north of 1,000. Of course, that market's awful good. This fat cattle market got up to 140, and these big feeder cattle, as well as these calves, were a lot higher at Oklahoma City on Monday.
Steve Benny, tell everybody how to contact y'all.
They can call me at 325-234-4277. The office, same area code, 653-3371, or they can always look at the web, which is producersincargyle.com.
Thank you, Benny.
Talk to you next week.
Neighbors, let's talk about a very helpful website, McCoys.com. That's McCoy's Building Centers. They're Project Central. In fact, you can go to their DIY ideas page and get all kinds of ideas, whether it's adding a deck or building a raised bed. In fact, their backyard projects icon is one of the best to tackle a weekend project. Outdoor spaces, just click on the deck design plans. Everybody has problems with a garage and workshop. Believe me, I know. Mine's pretty messy. Just hit the Storage Solutions icon, or if you need yard care and landscaping help, Outdoor Plans is going to help you, and it's all at www.mccoys.com. That's McCoy's Building Centers all over this region. Find the one near you at mccoys.com. Neighbor, y'all knew the routine and the menu. My camp cook Hop Sing is ready to serve that chicken fried steak. While he plates it up, I'll pour the gravy and the iced tea, hoping it'll get them mixed up. And we'll talk to Henry Pickett from Abilene Livestock. Henry, how'd the Tuesday sale go?
Well, it turned out pretty good. We ended up with a total of about 1,270 cattle with about 250 cows and bulls, and everything was steady to a little higher. These fleshier, high-yielding Packer cows were up there in the mid-60s to one bunch bring right at 70 cents. Packer bulls were up there 85 to 90. Good set of real nice ranch calves, weaned, weighing 450, bring $1.90, and their heifer mates right up there with them about $1.60.
Well, it sounds like you had a good sale. What was the count?
About 1,270 total.
What do you anticipate for next week?
We've had a few calls, but I hope to have about the same amount of run and finish out the year. We've got 2 more sales left this coming Tuesday, and then 1 more, and then we'll be off until after the first of the year.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of you, Henry Pickett.
Here at the barn, we can be reached at 325-673-7865, or my cell number is 940-733-8208, and we're hosting a 44 Farms bull sale this coming Saturday.
All right, that's at Abilene Livestock. They sell every Tuesday, and then this special on Saturday. Henry, thank you a bunch for being on Down on the Farm.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hey, neighbor, here's a quick reminder from my friends at McCoy's. You know, Western red cedar can be used in a variety of applications, from siding to decking, even as indoor paneling. For folks ready to tackle a DIY project, red cedar is a great choice for decks and play sets, particularly because of its naturally occurring thermal properties, which keep the wood cooler to the touch. That's no small feat on a summer day in the McCoy's States of America. Check out the building plans and videos at mccoys.com and get started on your next DIY project using Western red cedar. Available at McCoy's Building Centers. Go to mccoys.com for information. Find the McCoy's store near you. Neighbor, I believe we've got time to visit with the Farm Bureau's Dr. Bob Judd in the Texas Vet Report. Dr. Bob, what's your topic?
Winter weather is just around the corner, and it is time to take stock of your hay for your cattle, and this should include testing of the hay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Texas Vet News on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. I'm veterinarian Dr. Bob Judd, and when determining how much hay you will need for the winter, a forage analysis is a good idea to be cost-effective and have efficient use of the hay. Dr. Dana Zook from Oklahoma State Extension indicates at drovers.com that hay quality varies each year due to stage of maturity at cutting, soil fertility, growing conditions, harvest circumstances, and storage methods. The only method to understand the nutrient value of the hay is by using an accurate sampling procedure and a thorough lab analysis. Just because you had the hay tested from the same pasture last year does not mean the analysis will be the same, as no 2 years are alike. To get a good hay sample, you want to try and get an example of all the hay from a field, not just on the rich or poor land. All the hay should be harvested in a 48-hour period, and each lot should be uniform, including types of plants, weeds, cutting date, field where it was cut, and disease and pest damage if present. If there are major differences in the same field, it is a good idea to send in individual samples. To sample the hay, baled hay should be sampled after curing with a core sampler or a hay probe. The hay probe should penetrate the bale at least 12 to 18 inches and have an internal diameter of at least 3/8 of an inch. And take plenty of samples, as 20 to 40 is typical, and combine them for analysis. Large round bales should be analyzed by taking a core sample in the center of the curved side of the bale and not from the ends. All samples can be combined and sent to the lab, and testing for moisture, protein, and energy, as well as minerals, to determine if supplementation will be needed this winter. I'm Dr. Bob Judd. This is the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor Dr. Bob is brought to you by your local Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent. Let's check the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle, 800-288-4453. Milo through Corpus in November, 1165. Yellow corn through Corpus in November, 662.5. Hard red winter wheat through Houston in November, 892.25. In Houston beans, 1217.5. 4,401 bale of East Texas, Oklahoma, 6,649 bale of West Texas. Looks like 11,050. Looks like the average across that was 103.41. Low side 101.66, high side 105.16. That's it for Down on the Farm. We're definitely the high side of farm news. And you're the high side of the listenership because you listen to Down on the Farm. Neighbor, I'm Larry Marble. Hop Single make us a colotch about 3:45. So Grab yourself a bottle of water as you head out the door. Don't want you getting dehydrated. Good day to you. Be careful.